Hey, everybody. Yes. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by the great Chris Schaefer. Chris, how's it going today? It's good to
I'm
see you.
Jason. It's great to be here. I'm in a good mood. You're in a good mood. Fired up.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I feel like we've both been on the same page, like legitimately fired up and energetic at the same time. Usually it's one or the other, but we're both hitting on full, whatever the analogy is on motors. We're doing it. So it's
Yeah.
good to it's good to be here. I'm excited.
Firing on all cylinders.
And yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Jason, I meant to ask you this last week, and I've legitimately been interested because you alluded to this a few weeks ago, and the listeners, I'm sure, immediately want to know because they're going to be reminded. How is that cleanup in the garage going and that new gym and the weightlifting?
It's going good.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I did some kettlebell workouts yesterday.
All right.
I could absolutely control you if I wanted to. If we were alone in a room together, you would not be able to get out from my grasp.
Oh,
I could dominate you, Chris.
you'd
But
pin me.
not that I would.
So,
Yeah, I'd pin you down and I'd make you say uncle.
man,
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's it's not that far to drive. We might have to see.
Yeah.
Might have to see.
Drive up for some punishment.
Yeah, just
So
clear the floor out. We're gonna wrestle.
it's going good. It was a project. I had a lot of cleaning to do, a lot of setting up to do. So I'm still setting
Okay.
up a lot of stuff in there, but I will send you pictures when the final
Yeah.
product is ready.
Nice.
How are things in your world, Chris? I haven't heard about any special projects lately. No drama. Everything good?
Yeah. It's it's beautiful here in East Texas. I look out my window and there's just leaves and the trees. I mean, the storms are insane.
Mhm.
I mean, as you know, you guys get tornadoes. We just get like giant rainstorms and wind. But it's spring. It's beautiful. So my spirits lift. I'm not really a fan of winter, and that's why I live here in the South. So,
It's nice to have all four seasons, isn't it?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
remember I am a fan of winter. I'm a fan of the cold, but at the same time we had a stretch at the end of winter here where it was like 1 degree, 5 degrees,
oh
10
I
degrees
can't,
each day with a bunch of snow, and it went on for like 4 days, and I was like,
I
I don't
can't.
really like living like this where you can't go outside if you
Yeah,
want to.
I
Even if
can't
you
do
don't
it.
want to. I don't like not having the option. Got a lot of options on this show, Chris. The way we start, what we talk about, we're going to be talking about call extensions today. Another one of those topics where it's something that we probably are both very, very positive on in terms of using this tool to help clients. And we use it all the time and we're probably thinking about it a lot. But it's one of those themes where, yes, we use it all the time, think about it a lot, but we haven't talked about it a lot on this show, despite doing this for however many years
Yeah,
now and
yeah,
306 episodes in. So we're going to do a deep dive on the very, very important call extension and getting also down to the answer of if you need the call extension on desktop, because I think
mm.
that's a very interesting thing that comes up
Ooh,
sometimes. But before that, let's read a 5-star review from the United States of America from Eel. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time to produce your entertaining and informative content. You make the Google Ads puzzle fun to assemble.
ooh, that's what a poet.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. That's kind of the way you talk sometimes, where you come up
Mm.
with metaphors and analogies, and you seem very self-satisfied often, Chris, with the
That's
with the with the puke that comes out of your mouth hole.
Oh, Jason, you have a talent, and it's as I've said, you scare me in how much you can see, like not just into me, but like into my soul, like just read me like a book.
Yeah, you know what you're like, Chris. When I see you, I see a guy that's got it together. I see a guy seconds 1 through 7 on the bull. You know, you you come out of the chute, you're on the bull, you're on top of the world. You're
Yeah.
dominating your world, and the self-satisfaction could not be higher in this human being for you generally, and then it
Okay.
equates
Okay.
to the bull rider while he's dominating for the first 7 seconds. But
And then
when things don't go right for you, which
no.
every
Yeah.
few years, whatever, We all deal with stuff.
Life.
You totally crumble, and it's that 8th second on the bull where the guy falls off
Yeah.
and lands right on his shoulder, because that happens to you every now and then, as it happens to me. But I think for me, maybe I'm more like the bull rider before the chute opens, and I know things can go off the rail, and I'm trying to enjoy and trying to be self-satisfied in the good times. But you forget that things can go off the rail, and you go full self-satisfaction for the first 7 seconds, and then you get surprised when it hits you.
You know,
is that an accurate representation of your personality?
I've never heard an analogy of my personality or the way I think or do things, but people go to whatever they call it, psychologists, whatever,
counseling,
therapists,
therapy, yeah,
for years to be able to kind of draw like insight into themselves like that, and you just gave that away.
So, Chris, how do we not make you like the guy nervous before the chute opens, thinking about all the bad things, but just a little more prepared for getting knocked off the bull?
No.
Yeah, I agree. People don't change, so at least you know.
No. Thanks for telling me. It's cool to know.
Sorry to get deep on you, but I felt pressure to pull out an impressive metaphor because you said I'm the king of them, and giving your extreme self-satisfaction today. Like I'm not in a good mood. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm sick. I'm tired. But you're such in a good mood that you just acted like I must be in a good mood too. Because how could anybody be in a good mood, not be in a good mood when the great Chris Schaefer's in a good mood? Yeah.
If I feel good, everything's fine. If I'm mad, I'm gonna drag everyone down with me. Yeah.
That's the truth. Yeah. Been there.
That's the truth. Yeah. Well,
thanks for your review. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle to assemble, and people assemble it.
Beautiful.
But we definitely don't help them assemble the Google Ads puzzle in the first 7 minutes of these episodes. That's for sure.
No,
never.
But like many people have said, the show is real. These are two guys. We're not salesmen.
Yeah.
We're here. We're sharing part of our day.
We're not salesmen. We're the product.
Oh, man, are you
walk off home run,
guys? If you haven't left a review, Jason is on fire today. Absolutely, just poetic in every word he's saying. So please leave a 5-star review. And also, if you want to keep Jason here, a man of this wisdom, of this depth, he needs a challenge, and he needs compensation for what he does. And Optio is willing to finance that for you guys. And the one thing that they ask is they just want you to give their software a try. It is actually a very good deal on your part, because you can try the #1 Google Ads management software for free for 8 weeks. This is an amazing deal. It is a software designed to get more done in Google Ads for managers, for freelancers, for business owners. It's an incredible deal. So I want to tell you about a new feature. It's called the Ngram feature. Okay, so kind of a new word to me, but I'm gonna lay it out in this language. Ngram basically takes specific segments of searches that come from search terms and isolates those individual phrases that are common across hundreds and thousands of different search terms. And it says, hey, when it says near Chicago or something like that, we notice that you don't get as good of a return. And it can isolate those and make suggestions on lowering, different aspects of that. It's an amazing tool. This is a new feature that they are just announcing here mid-April 2022. And you can be one of the first to try it. So try the new tool at optio.com/PSP. You can try it for 8 weeks for free. You're going to like it. We thank them for their sponsorship.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So yeah, today we are doing a call extension deep dive. And as we start out here, Chris, why don't you just kind of talk about the call extension? I think something we very much could not live without, but we don't give it its proper respect. So that's what we're doing today. What's going on with call extensions? What is it for people that haven't heard of it? And then just a brief overview.
Yeah. So call extension is for many advertisers, whether you're e-commerce, you offer a service, a local service, a national service. It is one of the most practical lead generating tools in Google Ads. Okay. You spent lots of money on your website. And sometimes when it comes to a certain service or a certain action, people just want to talk to someone, right? If you're a plumber, if you're a, if you're offering some type of emergency service or help me now kind of thing, real quick sales turnover, someone come to my house and help with this kind of thing really quickly, or come to my business and help me with this. I just need to talk to someone. It is one of the most practical tools. And essentially, it's just your phone number that's clickable in the ad. There's no fuss about going to the website and then, they see an image that they don't understand, or they read the headline. They're like, no, this isn't what I want. Or they have some kind of rejection about what they see on the site and they just don't call you for some reason. Lots of reasons. This bypasses that. And I know for me, Jason, with my clients, I'm sure it's true for you. It's one of the most common lead acquisition, sale acquisitions ever in Google Ads. So it is by no mistake that we are dedicating an entire show to talk about some of the nuances of what this little bitty feature does and what it doesn't do and how it works.
Yeah, and it's also, I kind of look at it like a great equalizer, because it doesn't matter what kind of shape your website is in versus your competitors. You both can run a call extension. And like you're saying, the beauty of it is, if you're in an industry where there's a big need to get someone on the phone very quickly, and you write really compelling ad copy that both gives people a reason to call and then also gives them a heads up that they can call, and your call extension shows up, it can be a pretty cool thing, because right there from the ad, they can click to call and you can get on in touch with the customer without someone even going to your website. We'll talk about it still. There's still a charge. It's still a click, but it's so cool to, when you pay for that click, to get someone on the phone directly. Chris, before you kind of lead us here, topic by topic, just overall positivity versus negativity about the call extension. I don't know how I can be negative about it. I'm very bullish on it, and I think it is a fantastic tool to use in Google Ads. And there's probably a lot of nuances to it that people don't understand, where if they did, it can help them use it better.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for a Google Ads manager, for a freelancer, for someone managing their own account, it should be on your checklist to always make sure you have an ad extension added to your account. Put a phone number in. There are specific ways to do it. Sorry. Yeah. A call extension. You should have it in your account. We'll talk about kind of how to make sure you have it and the different options available to you, but it should be a default unless you explicitly do not take phone calls for some reason. It's just not part of your business process. Then okay. Then don't add it. But for 99% of you guys listening, it should be in your account.
Okay, Chris. So very important, the call extension here. And if you want to get your number in the ad, it sounds like the point is to use the call extension. That's what it's there for. I think maybe some people get tempted not to use it because it doesn't show every time. We'll talk about that. That's out of our control. But if you want your phone number to be in your ads, call extension is the way to go.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think, Jason, what we should talk about here is how the whole thing works. How the call extension works. How is it unique? How is it different? How is it the same as a lot of other things? Excuse me. There is a fly on my mic. Okay, we're good.
It's East Texas in the springtime. Yeah, that's to be expected.
It's to be expected. So here's how the call extension works. There is no upcharge on a phone call, right, Jason? There is no additional fee on a phone call.
A lot of nuances in Google Ads, Chris. There could be if you choose that, which we'll talk about.
Good point.
You like what I'm previewing? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a click. It's just a click.
It's a click. So if they click on the headline, they click on the phone number, it's the same. So that's either good or bad news. I mean, honestly, to be able to generate a call at the same thing that you could get, just a visit to your site. Obviously, a phone call could be a potential for talking to a real person that's interested in your service in that moment. And a person going to your website is someone who can just close the website and you lose them forever. Obviously, there's huge value in there. So having that same baseline of the cost per click is a huge asset.
Yeah. So even though you could argue it's a more valuable experience for the business, because instead of someone clicking to the website, maybe filling out a form, maybe calling, you're just paying the same, whatever your cost per click bid is, assuming there's no other bid adjustments, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And you can bypass the whole, they just go to your website and you may get them or may not as a lead to, wow, they're on the phone with us.
Yeah. And here's something that as Google managers that we are particularly interested in is the fact that that information then can be tracked as a conversion down to how long the person stayed on the phone. So you pay the same amount, right? And then if they stay on the phone, they stay connected for 60 seconds or more, 90 seconds or more, however many seconds you want to put in as the default, that then tracks as a successful conversion, a successful action, and that's documented in the account. So immediately you have a second layer of data that you don't have by default when they go to your website and they go fill out a contact form. Well, you better have had the proper conversion tracking for that contact form. Mm-hmm. You better have set it all up properly, have all that kind of transaction value assigned to it, all that kind of stuff. With the call extension, you just turn it on, set it up for extension by clicking a button, and boom, you immediately have that second layer of tracking on the activity level, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, so you can go into your conversions, and then sometimes it's called calls from ads or something similar to that, and you can put that threshold on there, whether or not you want to track calls that last 30 seconds long being a conversion, at least 60 seconds long being a conversion, or much longer if you want to put in much longer. Leads to a question here, Chris. Oftentimes, and a lot of our listeners are probably experiencing this right now, some of them I should say, oftentimes calls from ads is the only conversion type that is tracked because they haven't taken the time or haven't figured out how to track calls from website or lead form conversions. So let me ask you, when you are managing an account and that is the only conversion type you have, people are wondering, should they then manage for conversions, do automated bidding based on conversions, or is the 1 out of 3 conversion types, calls from ads and not getting calls from website and lead form conversions, if you only have that as your only conversion, you're tracking calls from ads, should you be optimizing for conversions? Should you be running automated bid strategies that optimize for conversions? Or is that not enough conversion data and you need to just focus on search term quality and bidding to get the most traffic possible? Because I feel like it can lead people astray because you see that big conversion column number there. You see the cost per conversion, but it's not really the true cost per conversion because you're not tracking everything. But oftentimes it's the only way people track and it can throw them off, in my opinion. How do you feel about that? Like, do you ignore it or do you optimize somewhat for it? It's hard.
That's a great point because, I have many clients that will tell me, yeah, phone calls are great, but the best leads are the ones that fill out our quote form, that have all the information about, what the square footage of their house is and what kind of pest control service they're looking for, but if it's a phone call, they're like, hey, can you guys come kill this bug that my wife saw? It's in, it's stuff that's just completely unvaluable to them. So,
hey, my podcast partner is a real pest sometimes. This says pest control. Could you please call him and do something about that? Have I ever made that call to a pest control company?
I don't know. I'd have to
maybe, but I did not click on their call extension.
They didn't click. Yeah, there you go. So you never know.
I didn't want it to show up as a conversion.
I think that's a good point. And honestly, to answer your question directly, if I have call conversion tracking, call extension conversion tracking, and I don't have anything else, I'm still going to manage for that conversion data.
You can't help yourself. You see it in the column and you do what you're trying to do, really.
Now I'm not going to exclude a search term that happens to have 0 conversions, but it's still a super qualified keyword or search term or something like that. But absolutely, if it's the only data that I have, I mean, it's still the gold standard, but yeah, I mean, there is an element of caution, but that's a great point. It is absolutely a bad situation to only have one side of.
A lot of times you're probably doing manual bidding
Yes.
but you got to put yourself in the position of someone doing a return on ad spend,
Yeah.
automated bidding, or a max conversions automated bidding. You can get yourself in trouble there. And I think I'm going to put out the recommendation if you want to do automated bidding, if you want to do automated bidding and you're only tracking call extension calls as your conversion and not the other two types. I think if you do max conversions or target CPA and you don't factor that into your target CPA, I think you can get yourself in trouble. I think you can't go wrong in that situation with max clicks.
Yeah.
So,
That's
to
That's
throw
a
that
good
out
point.
there.
That's a good point. If you have a clean search term history, maybe it'd be better to go with Mac. Or how about this? Maybe give it a target CPA, target cost per acquisition,
That's
and
way higher than your actual cost
exactly,
per. Yeah,
and
because you're
double
only
it or
tracking one
triple
out
it.
of three. Triple it.
Right.
Because you're only
Yeah.
tracking one out of three.
Because you don't want to go with a $50 cost per acquisition and only getting 1/3 the potential conversions you could be getting. So yeah.
Because if you get a $150 cost per conversion only from the call extension, you likely might be getting a $50 cost per conversion in reality from the other two
Exactly.
conversions when they're factored in there. So I think we actually got to something there because now people
Yep.
can use some targeted CPA or an automated strategy that is based on that. You can also back that into a targeted return on ad spend percentage,
Yeah.
factoring that in. So yeah, you want to talk about the account levels?
Yeah, so there are different levels of the call extension that you can apply. So some accounts might have different phone numbers for different locations, and you might need to have one account with a different phone number. Sorry, one campaign with a different phone number than a different campaign. So the way that the hierarchy works is essentially this: you can have an account default phone number,
Call extension.
which might, call extension. Thank you. That might be an 800 number. And then on the campaign that's local to Chicago, you might have the local Chicago branch number at the campaign level. And then another campaign, you have a call extension that's specific to, New York or something like that. Okay, different phone numbers, different locations, different regions. Now, I'll grant you, Jason, I very rarely go beyond campaign level.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, you put yourself out there. I'll just push you off. You take one little step off the cliff here. I'm pushing.
Look
That's
at
what
that.
we do on the show,
Look,
Chris.
I wonder what's down there. Yeah. That's
No, I'm
okay.
kidding. I'm with you. Just so for people know how to set this up, you go to your extensions under ads and extensions. Then you go to the call extension. Then when you add it, it gives you the choice to add at the account level, campaign level, ad group level, and then there's a column called level, and it will tell you what level that call extension is set at. If there's an account level call extension, that's what runs if you add it to a campaign. If there's a campaign level call extension and also an account level, my understanding is the campaign level call extension overrides the account level and runs. And then if there's an ad group level call extension added at the ad group level, even if there's a campaign and or an account level call extension, the ad group level call extension overrides those two and is the one that runs. Multiple locations comes to mind, Chris. Sometimes clients have different calls they like for different types of leads, like different types of legal cases or different types of moving jobs. So in that case, it can be handy as well. But in general, I'm often adding, it's nice you can just add one to the account and then you can just throw it in whenever you create a new campaign.
Yep. Now from here, I want to talk about probably what most people are going to be concerned about, which is, when doesn't the call
Why
extension
don't
show
I
up?
see my call extension? I love that as a little
Right.
capline there.
Yeah, because if it's important to you, then you might be tempted to put so much emphasis that you use call only ads, or something like that. And I know that's a whole different conversation. I don't want to imply that anything that we're talking about here applies to call only ads, because call only ads are a completely different beast. They're very different. I would go so far as I'm actually much more of a fan of the call extension than I am the call only ad. But the call extensions, straight up, it says on the help form, it will not serve with every impression. So if you have a call extension, Google's very explicit here that they say do not expect it to show up every time. And there's typically, from what I found, specific areas that will cause you not to show up. Number one that comes to mind is you're not showing ads above the organic. You're not top of page.
Before we get into your witchcraft and superstitions,
Oh, okay.
by the way, I agree with you, but
Yeah.
let's read their official language and then let's see how our
do it.
experience lines up to that. So they say when the ad, so number one, like you're saying, Chris, it's not that it might not show with every impression. They say call extensions don't appear with every impression,
Right.
with every ad impression.
Straight up.
So
Yeah.
you're not going to show every time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just told you that. So why are you asking me why you don't see your call extension? Do you want to get physical here? Like, why did you not just hear me tell you that? And it's not that I'm telling you that or I'm a guru or whatever. I'm reading it from the official documentation. Why don't we understand? I think some people have had that conversation with their clients.
Yeah.
Maybe not the get physical part, but sometimes, Chris, you're working with someone for a long time. There's high stakes. There's a mutual for me, a brothership and a respect there.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want to get physical, and it can make a stronger bond because you've been through tough times together. A lot of physical talk today, Chris. I think I need to go work out or something.
I don't think I've ever mentioned to a client about physically handling them in any way.
I've boxed with clients just to get it out of our systems.
That's awesome.
High stakes here. Okay, so when the ad auction runs, an algorithm, God, 2022. Don't you just?
Yeah,
it's a little frustrating
here we
not
go.
being able to control algorithms and the way they run.
When
our
an
lives,
algorithm is like some obscure, like here we go. When the blah 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 determines like the mysterious dark box.
We will be talking about ways to influence that algorithm. So there's hope. When the ad auction runs, an algorithm determines. I hate saying that.
You can't get past it.
Whether to show the call extension and any other extensions to show next to it, based on historical performance. And here's some detail, Chris, and other factors.
Oh,
so
love
thanks for that.
Algorithms and other factors. 2022.
What if I told my wife that, why have you not seen President Langley, Jason? Why are you not being a good husband?
Why don't you say I love you more? Well,
I'm having I'm having some stress at work and other factors, hon.
Other factors.
All right. Other factors. It is completely normal for call extensions to appear for only a subset of total ad impressions. However, you can do bid adjustments to show your call interaction ads more often. Okay, great. So we'll talk about that. So essentially, Chris, you're not going to show every time. You're going to show on a subset of total impressions. They're going to take into account your historical performance and other factors. So we have our own theories on other factors. You were getting into that. Let me just speak to historical performance. I'm going to take that to mean click-through rate, because Google wants to get paid. Google wants to connect search users with resources that help them. And maybe, what if it takes into account time on the call? What if they realize someone's getting a lot of calls, but then people are going back to Google and searching quickly after that and only being on the phone for 15 seconds? What if your answer rate, doesn't hurt you? So anyway, as far as historical performance, I would theorize that it means click-through rate, but also common sense stuff. Put yourself in the search user shoes. If they call and you don't answer and it's a missed call, which Google can see, that's not a good search user experience. If the calls last for 15 seconds, not a good search user experience. If they go back to Google because you didn't give them what they want, because maybe you're not showing up on good keywords and you're showing up on stuff that's somewhat related but not really what you should be showing up on, and people have to go back to Google and search again and they had a bad experience, maybe that lessens the likelihood that your call extension will show. Keep that in mind when you're running. What else do you think is going on, Chris?
Yeah, I think the biggest factor that's going to be real world is there is a limited number of slots in the paid ad for the top 3-pack, the top 4-pack at the most. And if you do a search for anything with 4 ads above organic, you'll notice number 1 will typically have the most call extensions. Ad extensions, period. It'll have site links, call out extensions, call extensions. It'll have everything. Ad number 2 will start losing a percentage of those. Ad number 3 will maybe not have any. Ad number 4 definitely won't have any. And I think that's the biggest factor, because what I found is if I'm not commanding first position, my call extension percentage is usually much lower. You know, if I'm
the impressions that you get.
The impressions of my call extension is much, much lower.
And you can see that if you go to segment and then
if you go to your
click type.
And this is a little deep, but you have to go to the call extension and then segment by this extension versus other. There's a specific segmentation that you can use in the reporting on the call extension.
Yeah, so how often did this extension show? And I'm looking at my call extension for a campaign over 90 days, and this campaign has 1,500 impressions and 380 this extension impressions.
Yep, there you go. I mean, that's a third. You know, only looking at a third there. So Google said in the document that we're reading, it's normal for only a subset of the total ad impressions to contain the call extension. So if you're seeing a high performance of that, then it means that your ads have a great CTR, you're getting good experience, and you're probably in first position most of the time.
So for you, would it safe to say it's real estate? Like the top ads, the more you bid, or at least the more, no, I shouldn't say the more you bid, because it also has to do with quality score, ad rank. The higher your ad rank, the more likely that this and other extensions show.
Absolutely.
Okay, I agree with that. So it's real estate. So what's that famous saying from real estate, Chris, about location? Say it.
Location.
Say it.
Look, location.
There's about 0.00001% of people who know what I'm getting at, but there's a company called Seritage Growth Properties. They own the real estate that used to be Sears and Kmart.
What?
And their CEO went on an interview recently, and there was kind of an awkward moment to me because there were two interviewers and the one CEO, and one of the interviewers go, "Well, so you're telling us it's about that old saying about real estate?" And the other guy was like, "Say it. Say it." And he kind of like commanded his co-host to like say location. It was awkward. Oh. So I brought that to mind. But in our case, it's location showing up higher. But in the Google Ads world, that means ad rank.
Yeah.
And then in the optimized campaigns already that are optimized and that have high quality scores, it means bid. So Chris, I get questions a lot where clients want to show up high in the maps with the location extension, and also where clients want to show the call extension a lot. And my answer to them is, once we're fully optimized and we've done what we can do with quality scores, is a shortcut and kind of the answer to getting these extensions to show more often, and kind of the only control you have over that, again, once you're already optimized, is bidding. And you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it to bid more to maybe get more valuable traffic because they can use those extensions, including the call extension? Can I take one sidetrack here, Chris? Okay. Do you have anything planned for desktop versus mobile?
No, not particularly.
Okay, so I'm gonna call this. Can my call extensions show on desktop? I think that's a common question.
Okay, yeah.
And the answer is yes. It's they do show on desktop. I'm looking at it right now. I did a search for movers near me. Multiple ads have the call extension listed in them. And what's interesting on desktop is you cannot click to it because obviously you're on a desktop. But something that might surprise people, there are people that look at a desktop ad, pull out their phone, and then dial the number they see on google.com on that call extension without clicking on the ad. So if someone asks, should we run, or I don't know if you can control it off the top of my head, but what does it mean when it shows up on desktop? Why is it showing up on desktop? Or do I want it to show up more on desktop by raising my ad rank? I'd say yes, because you can get a call and without them clicking, it's still a click. I think when they dial that number, it should still be, I think, a cost per click. But you get someone on the phone and you give them that option when that call extension shows, which to me is better than not giving them that option.
Oh, yeah. And stick around, guys, after the break. I'm going to talk a little bit about device preferences. We're going to talk a little bit about how that phone number works and how the call tracking system works, because that's not anything that we've mentioned so far. I think it's really important to talk about these few other items here. But first, let's dance. Welcome back. I want to remind you why we are here and where we want you to go. We want you to go to Opteo. That's opteo.com/PSP to get your free 8-week free trial of the best online management software for Google Ads. It's built for Google Ads. It is only Google Ads. It's built by people who know Google Ads for people who use Google Ads. Freelancer, agency, business owner. You're out of ideas. You don't know what to do. You're not sure if you should do this. You feel overwhelmed. This is the tool for the overwhelmed. It gives you peace of mind. You're going to love it. 8 weeks for free to try it can make a huge difference in your day-to-day management. Jason, are you ready to jump right back in to call extensions?
Yeah, let's talk about how your call extensions can appear.
Yeah, so one thing that is really interesting that I don't think I particularly knew this until I went through the help document, which is why I love doing these support docs and going through them. Your phone number can show in the headline. Okay,
through the call extension.
Through the call extension. So the call extension can show, the phone number can be in the headline.
It's bigger, it's blue.
It's blue, it's big, it's huge, right? I mean, that's a huge deal. So instead of, a written up, long 3 headline kind of thing, you might be able to show in the headline with that phone number. There's particular instances when they say that you must at least have one of these, I believe is the language that they're implying here. One of these instances must be true. The very first thing they say is you must be using responsive search ads.
I'm going to say when all these are in place. This can occur when your campaign. These 4 things.
Think all? Okay, so you think all of them? Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not sure, but that's probably true. So number 1, using responsive search ads.
I could also see how you're right too, though.
Yeah. And then number 2, has a call extension eligible to serve, which that would imply if one of those was true and the other one was not true, that immediately doesn't make any sense. So I think you're probably correct that all of these have to be true.
Because you definitely have to have a call extension eligible to serve.
In order for this to work, so it wouldn't work either way. So far it seems like all of them.
I really don't like the kind of person that line is in there for.
Yeah.
Like that's that kind of person that goes, well, you didn't say this, so I'm just checking. Like the people that can't handle a little bit of implication.
Some editor saw this and like some jerk was like, well, guys, you didn't say that you had to have a call extension. Thanks, Bob.
It's implied, yeah.
Thanks, Bob. Great. So number 3, optimizes bids towards a call conversion. This one is really interesting because that means that I think what it's implying is that you have your goal set to focus on the call that you want to get. You're wanting call conversions, and you're allowing it to optimize. So it sounds like what it's implying is that this is going to happen if you have automated bids focusing on
look at the next one. Uses smart bidding strategies like target CPA or maximize conversion. So it sounds like you have to have calls from ads conversion in your conversions. Yes, put it in the conversion column.
As a goal.
As a goal, with this new thing, as a goal that it optimizes for.
And using...
Meaning when I'm saying that it optimizes for, I mean the bidding strategy optimizes for conversions.
Right. So all 4 of those. So if you want to be able to show...
We'll say all 3. We don't need to even focus on have a call extension eligible to serve. It's like...
Yeah, that's true, Bob.
Yeah. So, but I'm asking myself, when do I have these in place? Well, obviously the call extension, but uses responsive ads, very, very, very common. Like very common. 95+% of the time. Optimizes bids towards a call conversion. To me, that's the same as, well, do I have my calls from ads conversion as a goal? Do I have it in my column? Yes, conversions. Yes, always. Probably always on the responsive search ads. But what it comes down to for me is using the smart bidding strategy like target CPA or maximize conversions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have those, sometimes I don't. It sounds like when I don't, I'm going to miss out on the chance for my call extension to show in the headline. But I just did multiple searches here And I'm not seeing that, and I very rarely recall ever seeing that. So this is kind of like a rare thing in the wild, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I mean, multiple things have to happen. Number one, you're probably going to have to be in either first or second position. You're going to have all of these things. Google's going to have to decide that the optimal experience for this kind of search needs to be a call.
There may be
Right?
industries where they just rule out and they
Yeah.
say, yeah, we never put the headline in the call extension, the headline in these industries.
Yeah, it's just probably going to
Keywords.
be. It seems like a very localized kind of thing. You're looking for a local service. You want to talk to a person, where it doesn't, so it probably wouldn't happen on e-commerce types of stuff. Seemed like it'd probably happen for like a lead gen kind of thing. So yeah, it's really interesting. I personally had never really considered how frequently it might happen, but they do imply that it can happen, and if you're interested in it happening, those are the factors that you need to make sure you have them set for.
And then how your call extension can appear, Chris, just more generally and more often. Desktop, these days, I'm just seeing it as a little phone number next to the URL. And then on mobile, it looks like what they're going with now is below the ad, they have a phone graphic, like a phone, a image of a phone, and then call, and then the number. And you can click on that number.
Yeah. What?
At least on my phone.
Just to divert a bit, Jason.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Very good.
What were we talking about?
What bothers me about the call extension? We're later in the show now. It's time for the little bit of griping that I like to do.
All right, unbutton the collar here. Loosen up, Chris. What are you going to do to loosen up? You don't have any.
I don't have any.
Buttons.
Yeah,
Can you pull down as hard as you can and rip your shirt for us, please? Do it. 2 hands. Go as hard as you can. See if you can rip it.
Look how nice
you don't own nice shirts. Go.
No, not.
What years? All right. Well, let's do our thing here. What year is this shirt from?
This year, brand new. Just unwrapped it today.
Someone's had a good year.
I can't ruin this collar yet. Look, it's tight.
You just unwrapped it today?
Just unwrapped it today.
Do you wash clothes before you wear them? Or neither do I often, unless they're
because they look better. I mean, I get that like itchy like factory stuff on me, and it breaks me out, and I have boils, but still, it looks crisp and it looks nice.
Crispy Chris. Is this shirt appropriate to share on the air? Is there anything on it? I need to check.
No. I don't wear shirts with things on it anymore. See, it's
nothing.
I'm a professional. Yeah, I hate logos. I hate things on unbranded.
Well, good for you. You got your new shirt.
You really did divert. I had a topic and you diverted completely. Dang it. Okay, so the point.
What you're negative on them what makes you a little bit negative?
The negative.
I'm surprised. I don't know one negative thing about them.
I think you're going to agree. I'm going to go so far as to say I absolutely think you agree with this. The one thing that drives me crazy is if on the mobile experience, if you tap that number, it pops up on a smartphone and says call.
Yeah.
Call or cancel. Call or cancel.
As I understand it, you get charged at the click.
You absolutely do. Yeah. You absolutely do.
So if they
once
hit
the person
call.
clicks. So and that is very common for people to hit cancel. I'd say almost like a 50% rate for people to hit cancel. Maybe that's a little high. Maybe a 30% rate. But you can see what your rate is by looking at the actual this is a hard way to tell, but you could look at your call conversion. Let's say you have a 2-second
call
conversion.
you can go to your call extension. You can look at
it's
no, you can do it. You can do it. It can be done.
Okay.
You can. It's a little complicated here, but you go to your call extension.
Okay.
You segment out by this extension versus other. And the reason I only know this is because I got it pulled out. I have it pulled out. You segment out this extension versus other, and actually, let me try click type really quick. So you can do this. So you segment out by click type when you're looking at the call extension. Segment out by click type. I'm looking at 16 clicks overall where I'm looking at the call extension, but then I segment out by click type and it says headline 12 of them, mobile clicks to call 3 of them, site link 1 of them. So I got 3 clicks on the mobile click to call phone number out of 16 clicks overall, but the 3 were on the phone number. 3 times I got the pop-up to say, do you want to call this number? 3 times. And then I have a column pulled up called phone calls, and I have 2 phone calls. Not conversions, not 30 seconds, not 60 seconds, because I only have 1 conversion. But it'll show you how many people clicked yes on the call. So for me, That's a ratio of 67%. Let me just
30,
go back.
1/3. I said 1/3.
Let me do all time here. It's a new campaign, so 2 out of 3. I don't have good data here, but
1/3. Yeah.
But come on, brother. We're talking sample size here, and I am a scientist. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's my gripe is that you will pay money, and unlike a website click where they're at least going to go to your website, they can literally just hit cancel and then say, no, I didn't want to call them right away. Then they click on your website instead.
So maybe Google, because they control Android, they could put this in, and then maybe they could talk to their friends at Apple. But for call extension, call clicks especially, and people didn't know they were clicking a phone number or whatever, maybe it would be cool if you had call this number, yes, no, go to website. And we at least could give them an option to go to our website.
And it all is the same click, yeah.
You know what would happen if I worked at Google? When I go out to the parking lot, at 5 in the afternoon to go home and drive home in my car and stuff, the engineers would just be hiding there with a baseball bat. They would just beat me to a pulp every Friday afternoon, 5 p.m. if I kept making these suggestions to make their life tough. Yeah. Because that would be a good feature.
They would immediately, the first thing they would do is they'd build an algorithm to auto delete your emails.
Yeah.
Because they're good.
And then I'm old school, so when I go face to face with the engineer team or call them, they'd get the message. Their boss would think it's a good idea. They'd have a bunch of work to do, and then they would beat me to a pulp in the parking lot, Joe Pesci, Casino style in the cornfield.
I don't like that movie.
You know, I saw that. It's like a 12-year-old.
That is awful.
Yeah,
that movie gave me nightmares as an adult.
Do you know what that does to your view of like marriages and relationships as a 12-year-old when you see Sharon Stone and Robert De Niro and the drama, the money, the pills, the clothes, the closet,
the betrayal. Okay, anyway, call conversion. Last thing, Jason. Last thing. Next to last thing. We're going to wrap it up quick here. One thing I want as a public service announcement. You've stuck around this long. I'm going to make it worth your time. I'm going to let you know that little device preference checkbox that so many of you auto-click. I do a lot of audits on accounts, a lot of looking at accounts, training, management, all that. I see this all the time. Be aware, when you hit that device preference checkbox in the call extension, what that does is that does not force the call extension to only show on mobile.
Okay, let's slow down. You're creating a call extension. So you create one, and then one of the options you have under advanced options, you have to click to advanced options, is device preference, and it gives you a box that you can check for mobile. That's it. Do you check mobile for your preference or do you not? A lot of people think it means one thing. Chris is going to set the record straight.
So what this checkbox does is it gives preference to mobile devices. So if Google is going to show on one device over the other, you get the same number of device impressions on mobile and computer. It's going to give a higher percentage to the mobile impressions when it shows the call extension. Now, this might be something that you want, and for a lot of people it may be perfect, but be aware. For example, B2B, if you get less mobile clicks because you're a B2B lead generation company, and you click that checkbox, it might not show as often on a computer that's doing a search, which might be a detriment to your campaign because a computer might be a more qualified device for you to get leads from.
Yeah, more of your traffic naturally might come from searches on a desktop.
Yeah, I was just working with a company yesterday that they did services for restaurants, and we realized computer traffic was incredibly valuable for them. So this would have been a detriment to their campaign to have that turned on. So I think that is a very important distinction to make about the device preference.
Yep. Alternatively, if you want a lot of calls from the call extension and you don't necessarily care if it shows up on desktop or tablet, just showing up there, but you really want to get a lot of calls from the call extension on mobile, you can check that box. And tell Google
Sure.
you'd like it to show up more often on mobile. But like it says, it will still show up on desktop and tablet. Just they know your preference is mobile. I think that's a lot of times we kind of have a problem with words that are used in the documentation and in the interface, or we think different words could be used better. But I think this is a perfect word here. The preference. They're literally asking you, hey, what's your preference?
Yeah.
And you can tell them. Chris, real quick, I just want to talk about how to schedule your call extension. One of the questions I get often is, we're only open 8 to 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday because it's 2022, Chris, and everything's going in that direction. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
People are trying to outlaw work on Fridays, not just make it optional, but outlaw it if your company has over X amount of employees.
We're going to make a lot of money, Jason.
And now I just shared that news, and the engineers are going to beat me to a pulp again because I'm going to make them come in on Fridays. Sorry, guys. But so you're only open on Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and you have your call extension turned on, but you're running your ads 24/7 because you have nice big lead forms on your website, and you get leads overnight and on the weekends. So you don't want your call extension to show when you're not able to take calls. When you set your call extension up, you click on that advanced options, and you have the option to choose what days and what times your call extension shows. You also you can even do start and end dates if you're maybe want to layer on like an ad group or campaign level call extension. If there's a certain reason you would want different calls coming in to a different number over a certain period of time. But more generally, this will be used for scheduling the times that your call extension shows to the times you can actually take calls. I think that's great because it allows you to get the benefits of the call extension by having it on, but you don't have to be on there and potentially not answering calls when you're not able to answer calls. So I think scheduling is an awesome thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do it.
Yeah. Great point. I think very important. Jason, the last thing that I want to talk about, and this is very important because a lot of people get very upset, very confused, and it's not a confusing thing. I want to talk about the little bitty secret about call extensions and specifically call conversion tracking, call extension tracking.
Oh, we're talking about one more thing then.
Yeah.
Because you missed one.
Oh.
We will be talking about the call speed adjustment.
Well, it's my day to lead, and when I say it's over, it's over. But we'll see. We'll see who has the pants. When you check the box, don't look at me like that.
What? Sorry. Go ahead. Check the box. What are you talking about?
When you check the box, when you turn on call extension conversion tracking, what you are doing is you are telling Google that you are going to allow them to show a different phone number instead of your own phone number.
Wow. So you're telling me in the ad on mobile, desktop, whatever, when the call extension shows, if you have conversion tracking on for your calls from ads, they will show not the number that you put in as the call extension, but a Google forwarding number?
Exactly.
So then you get calls from clients saying, why are you using the wrong number in my ad?
Exactly.
Sometimes, yeah.
Exactly. There can be some really upset people, maybe managers, agencies that are listening now. They've had times whenever, they've had people call and, take screenshots and say, why did you put the wrong number in? And, I called it, but it went to me, but when they're confused about everything. So here's the facts of it. If you are doing call tracking using Google's free call extension system, and you've set that all up, there will be a number that may not even be the same, area code that you have for your original number.
I believe they'll use an 800 if they run out of your area code.
I can't confirm that. I am not sure about all of that, but
if they run out, yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it in a lot of different ways, but essentially what happened, and by the way, I think it's an 888 number, not an 800 number.
Yeah.
So what happens is that number is used for that one little instance for your forwarding purposes. So essentially, when someone calls, you get that one dedicated number to your account.
It forwards to the number that you put inside the account.
It forwards to the number that you put in. And here's the important part: is you don't own that number. And what has always bugged me, and worries me,
get over it. You guys need to get over it.
You don't own that number. So if someone bookmarks that number, saves the number, They could call later, and who were they going to get? It wasn't a number that was actually you. It was a vanity number. It was a fake number. It was a tracking number.
Will I give you some assurance to rest assured here, Chris? I just ran a test, and what I am seeing is that the real phone number that I punch in as a call extension is what's showing in the ad. But when the number is clicked on, and then the thing that says call this number, then it changes itself into a forwarding number.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I also thought it used to, I think in the past it used to show the forwarding number. But now it appears, at least for this one ad, that it will show the number you use as a call extension number. But when someone clicks on it, then in the pop-up, it uses a different number, the forwarding number. And that forwarding number changes over time.
But that's not my issue. My issue is if a person goes to their call history and wants to call that number back.
Well, you got to get over it. That's the thing. That's
issue.
What I tell clients is I understand the concern. That's what I tell them. But number one, like your staff just has to do a good job saying, oh, you wanted a moving quote. Here's our phone number. Here's our website. We're going to send you an email right now. We're going to send you a text right now with our contact info. That way, and we don't know how long you own this forwarding number, how long it, or it shouldn't say own, but how long it forwards to your business number. Mm-hmm. We've never heard a complaint about it, like in the real world, like, oh, they called back this number and it doesn't go to this number. But at the same time, we wouldn't hear it because it would just go to a wrong number and we wouldn't know it. It would be interesting to write down one of these numbers and then try calling it 2 weeks later, a week later, and see how long it lasts. But my understanding is we don't know how long it lasts. So if you want to
last that long.
Yeah, because there's so much going on.
There's so much happening.
Good point. I would just encourage people to, one, train your business to do a good job of telling customers from Google Ads and all the sources how to get in touch with you, lead them back to your website, be in contact with them, be proactive. The other thing is the benefits of getting the conversion data inside your account, I think, outweigh the chance that someone's going to call back that number a week later or 2 weeks later and not be able to get a hold of you. Because my understanding is they can call back that same day, the next day. We've seen callbacks. So I don't know.
It's a small thing, just a little issue that I have. My solution that I usually
you have a big control issue in life in general, but this is one example of it coming out.
The one solution that I offer is use a paid call tracking system. That's what I prefer. It's cheap. It's affordable. You always
what a problem solving guy. Hey, the one solution I offer, go pay someone else.
Pay someone else to do that.
Go spend your money on something.
It's not my
problem. You want to do it for real. Yeah. Well, that is a solution. Yeah, if you're worried about always owning those phone numbers,
you got one more. Is there? You said you had one more.
Yeah, let's talk about the. Whoa, man! Someone's hit his time of day.
Yeah,
here.
I hit my time, Jason.
You get some more tuna and goldfish or something, dude.
Tuna and
goldfish. You have a rough day at CrossFit or something? Are you angry?
It is. It's getting warmer. It's getting warmer outside.
All right, so let's talk about the calls bid adjustment, the advanced bid adjustment.
We did forget that.
Yeah, it's very important here, Chris. So there's a column in Google Ads. You have your ad groups, your ads, keywords, blah, blah, blah. Down at the bottom where it says show more, there's an advanced bid adjustments for all your advanced bid adjustments. And the only one of them currently that exists for advanced bid adjustment is the calls bid adjustment. And you can put an adjustment on there, decreasing or increasing by different percentages. And if you want to know what that calls bid adjustment is, I want to get some good data here for you, Chris. So give me 1 second here. I'm finding it, Chris.
I'm just gonna let you hang.
Well, I could complain about a lot of things right now, but I'm not going to. Calls bid. I said I'm not going to, Chris. So
I'm a great host, and I'm just gonna let you.
Yeah, and we do edit stuff, but I don't care right now because I want people to live this process with me, and we'll see how good I am at Googling things here in real time. So about bid adjustments. And then we'll look here for calls, see if it's on here. There it is. So calls bid adjustment. And that was not helpful what I'm looking at. So we're going back here. I know exactly what it is, but I don't want to say the wrong thing because you're making revelations here, Chris, with your talk about talk about the mobile preference and all that. That was eye-opening to me. So anyway, these additional interactions like calls bid adjustment can help determine if your ads are help reaching.
It's called the. I think what you're looking for is the click interaction or the ad interaction.
I'm not even able to find documentation on it, but my understanding of it is when you increase your calls bid adjustment, they will show you. They will give you stronger bids when you are eligible to show your call extension,
yes,
and when you're eligible to show a call only ad as well, Chris.
It is the advanced bid adjustment, I think is what you're referring to. It's the advanced bid adjustment, and what it does is whatever interactive thing you have with your ad. That might be other things. It may not be a call. No, it's not.
You're a thug. You're a thug. You're a thug.
It could be one of those lead forms. It could be a lead form.
No, it couldn't.
It could be other things.
You are a thug, Chris.
That is so true. Not what you said, but what I said is true.
On the advanced bid adjustments?
Advanced bid adjustment is not
necessarily. Is this what it's like to be married? Is this what it's like to be married to you? Where you just make
me being
stuff
always
up
right?
I'm always. You always think you're right, but you're not right. Is this where you just make things up and you make an alternative reality? All right, then tell me how to do an advanced bid adjustment on your lead forms, please. Tell me.
You just put an advanced bid adjustment, and whatever interactive thing that you have, it will give a higher percentage of showing that. That's why it's called an advanced bid adjustment and not the call bid adjustment.
There's only
what's it called?
No, I'm not going to play your rhetorical game.
What's it called? It's not called the call interaction. It's called the advanced bid adjustment because it has to do with other things.
Advanced bid adjustments, and then there's different types of interactions that you can have advanced bid adjustments on, and the only one in there is calls. Now, do I have lead forms turned on? No, I don't. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay.
But I think you're wrong because I guarantee you could never show me.
I think we agree.
You can never show me a line item in interaction types that says anything other than calls. The only interaction type I've ever seen there is calls. So if you want to increase the bids when your call extensions or call only ads show, you can increase your bid adjustment on calls. You're a thug and you're trash because you just made that up.
Well, it's been a fun day.
He's running out. This is what you always do. You run from your problems. Make this relationship stronger. Go deep with me right now. That's what.
Okay. I'm done. I'm exhausted, Jason.
But here's what's hard about dealing with a sociopathic podcaster.
Tell me, because I need to know.
You wind me up, and I have real human emotions, and now this is going to stick with me for the rest of the day. But you don't have those emotions, and so it
doesn't bother me at all.
Literally, as soon as we hang up this call, or even just stop talking,
I wouldn't even remember.
You're not even going to remember that we had this argument.
And then we'll talk a week from now, and you'll be like,
and I'm going to call you a sociopathic thug podcaster. And then a week later, when I don't care about this anymore and I feel bad I called you that, I'm going to then feel bad and deal with those emotions because I have those emotions. And then you're not even going to deal with me calling you that at all because you don't care at all. And then when I apologize, you'll have a blank face and you'll say, for what? And then I'll feel bad again because you don't even care about me. He cares about T-shirts that don't have brands. That's what this guy cares about.
If he wasn't selling Google ads, Jason, I tremble at thinking of what you would sell.
So do I. But Chris, obviously, we're just kidding around, and I don't feel that way about you at all.
Yeah,
but I'm just a little. Well, I got to be honest. I get a little fired up when you just make up some complete BS.
Maybe I think we were both saying the same thing. I was just saying it in a different way.
You're saying if they ever add more interaction bid adjustments, but
the advanced bid adjustment applies to all interaction types, and you were saying no. The only option in my screen is the call.
Have you ever seen another interaction type in there?
That is calls? A good question.
Do you recall seeing one?
No. So there, you found okay. So there you go.
Right, I'm going to put the ball in your court, Daddy.
You got me to admit it.
Do you want to edit this out, this fight, or do you want to leave it in?
No, I don't care. You think I care? I won't remember.
All right. Well, everyone needs to understand, and Chris, man to man, you need to understand this as a friend. Like, I don't feel this way. We just play stuff up because it's fun to argue on the air.
I love it.
Why
do you think I still do it?
I love you. You love it, and I love you. I'm not going to force you to say it. I know you don't have that in you. But you can love it, and I can love you.
I couldn't say it. I literally try. You could probably play it back. I probably went.
You know about the bull riders, Chris? They say they live their lives 8 seconds at a time. You live your life 7 seconds at a time, because when
Beautiful.
you're not in that 1 second of getting thrown off the bull, man, do you live on cloud nine? The great Chris
That is
Schaefer.
going to be the name of my book that I finally write. 7 seconds.
Yeah, the first 7 seconds.
The first 7 seconds.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. All right, well, guys,
let's end the show.
If you
Plugs,
want to talk
no plugs.
to,
Last week we didn't do plugs.
Yeah.
How are you
well, I was just
feeling
gonna say,
about
if you
that?
want to talk to Jason, please, he's earned it this week. He deserves your attention.
I'll give you a plug. After Dinner Investor on YouTube, I go live most Monday through Fridays around 4 p.m. and we talk about investing. So if you're looking for a little bit of non-Google Ads talk every now and then, we've got that going on, and we can talk about Seritage growth properties.
Oh, wow.
What do you have going on, Chris?
I'm busy. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I'll catch you next week.